Imagine this. You walk into a hotel room. Your heart's pounding, your hands are shaking, but your mind is crystal clear. On the other side of the bathroom door is your husband, the man you promised to love forever. Except tonight, you're not there to love him. You're there to end him. And when you step out, contract in one hand and evidence in the other, his entire world crumbles in seconds. That was me. And let me tell you, helleth no fury like a Latina scorned. If you've ever been lied to, betrayed by the person you trusted most, then this story is going to hit home. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and buckle up, because what you're about to hear is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever experience. Let's get into it. I used to think I had the perfect life. Seriously, I was living what people love to call the American dream. A beautiful house, the kind with a wraparound porch and just enough yard space for summer barbecues. A husband who, at least at the time, I thought was my soulmate. A job I loved that gave me independence. A car in the driveway that I'd worked hard for and was proud of. On the surface, everything looked perfect. And for a while, I let myself believe it. I wanted to believe it. But perfection has a funny way of cracking. And once those cracks start to show, you can't unsee them. It started small. My husband, let's call him Daniel, began coming home late. At first, he had believable excuses. Traffic. A work meeting that ran over. Helping a friend with something. And of course, I wanted to be the understanding wife. I told myself, he's just tired, he's stressed, it's nothing. But then, intimacy faded. Touches became mechanical. Kisses shorter. Conversations, shallow. I would reach for him at night, and he'd roll over, muttering something about being exhausted. You don't need a PhD in psychology to know when something's off. But when it's the person you've built your life with, you gaslight yourself before they even have the chance. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm too needy. Maybe it's me. Except it wasn't me. The night everything changed, I was sitting alone in the living room. The glow of the TV flickered against the walls, but I couldn't focus on the show. My eyes kept drifting to Daniel's phone, lying on the coffee table. He was in the shower. I'd never gone through his phone before. I wasn't that kind of wife. But that night, something inside me whispered, look. My hands trembled as I picked it up. His lock screen, I knew the code, of course. He never changed it. That almost made me second-guess myself, like, if he's cheating, wouldn't he hide it better? But no. Within 2 minutes of scrolling, my stomach dropped. Messages. Photos. Names I didn't recognize. But the real gut punch. They weren't women. They were men. Dozens of them. I froze. Not because I had an issue with him being bisexual or gay or questioning his identity, no. That wasn't the betrayal. The betrayal was the lying. The sneaking. The cowardice of living a double life while making me feel like I was the problem. My heart pounded so loud I thought he might hear it from the bathroom. My palms went clammy, scrolling faster, screenshotting what I could. Grindry notifications. Explicit messages. Hotel meetups. It wasn't just one mistake. It was a lifestyle. And in that moment, I didn't just feel hurt. I felt erased. Like the life I'd been living wasn't real. Like the marriage I'd been fighting for was nothing but a cover story. Most people, when they discover their spouse's affair, hate the other person. They become the enemy. The snake. The thief. But for me, the story took a twist. Through one of those grindry conversations, I managed to identify someone he'd been regularly seeing. Let's call him Marco. My first instinct was fury. I wanted to scream at him, blame him, demand to know how he could do this to a married woman. But when I reached out, the truth was, Marco had no idea Daniel was married. And when I told him, the devastation in his voice mirrored mine. That's when the strangest thing happened. We became allies. Late-night phone calls. Texts comparing stories. Venting sessions that turned into actual friendship. Marco wasn't the villain, Daniel was. And together, we came up with a plan. Marco told me about a hotel room Daniel had booked. He'd convinced Daniel that they should meet up that night for some alone time. What Daniel didn't know was that I'd be there too, with evidence, with a prenup my father had insisted on before our marriage, and with every ounce of rage and betrayal boiling in my veins. The hours leading up to that hotel meeting were some of the longest of my life. I remember standing in front of the mirror, staring at myself. My hands clenched into fists, unclenching, clenching again. I practiced what I would say. I imagined him begging. I imagined him denying. I imagined myself breaking down, and then I reminded myself I couldn't. Not this time. This wasn't just about catching him. This was about ending him. My father had insisted, when I first got married, that I sign a prenup. At the time, I rolled my eyes. I thought it was cold, even insulting. Daddy, I love him. I trust him. Why would we need something like that? But my father was a businessman. And businessmen don't deal in fairy tales. The contract had one crucial clause: if infidelity could be proven, the marriage terminated in my favor. Assets, property, mine. At the time, I signed it reluctantly. That night, I silently thanked my father for his foresight. I can still smell the hotel hallway. That strange mix of carpet cleaner and stale air conditioning. My heels clicked against the floor, echoing louder than I wanted them to. Every step felt like walking toward a firing squad. Marco and I had checked in earlier. He'd texted Daniel, luring him in. The plan was simple. Daniel arrives, thinking he's about to have a romantic night. Marco steps into the bathroom. I step out. The knock came. My heart stopped. Marco opened the door, smiling like nothing was wrong. Daniel stepped in, unsuspecting. He leaned in to kiss Marco, his voice playful. Finally. Been waiting for this all week. I listened from the bathroom, hand pressed against my chest to quiet my heartbeat. My other hand clutched the folder, screenshots, photos, and the prenup, highlighted in yellow. Then, right on cue, Marco said, "Give me a sec, I'm just gonna freshen up." The bathroom door opened. Our eyes met. Marco gave the smallest nod. I stepped out. The look on Daniel's face. God, I wish I could bottle it. His jaw dropped. His body froze mid-step. His eyes darted from me, to the folder in my hand, back to Marco, and then back to me again. What the hell is this?" he stammered. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. My voice was steady, sharper than any scream. "This," I said, slapping the folder onto the bed, "is the end. Of us. Of this marriage. Of everything you thought you could get away with." I flipped open the prenup, the clause highlighted like a neon sign. Infidelity. Termination of marriage. Assets revert to me. His face drained of color. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. A fish out of water. And then, without a word, he bolted. Literally ran out of the room like a coward, leaving his phone, his dignity, and his carefully constructed double life in pieces. The courtroom was less dramatic, but no less satisfying. Daniel tried to spin stories. He tried to paint me as controlling, as paranoid. He even tried to backtrack, saying what I had wasn't real evidence. But screenshots don't lie. Hotel records don't lie. Witness testimony from Marco, who bravely took the stand, didn't lie. The judge read through the prenup, nodded, and that was it. My house. My car. My assets. Safe. Daniel. Left with nothing but his clothes and his beat-up Nissan. After the dust settled, I heard bits and pieces of what became of him. He moved back in with his parents. Ended up working retail, last I heard. Tried crawling back to Marco once, but Marco had more self-respect than that. As for me, I rebuilt. Slowly, painfully, but stronger. I kept my home, my career, my dignity. And I gained something unexpected, a lifelong friend in Marco. To this day, we still talk. Sometimes we even laugh about the absurdity of how we met. Two betrayed people, united by one man's lies, turning the tables in spectacular fashion. The moment he realized, truly realized, that his empire of lies had collapsed. That was the climax. Watching the confidence drain from his face, the panic set in, the flight instinct take over, it was like watching karma in real time. Because here's the truth, Cheaters think they're clever. They think they're untouchable. But they forget that lies are fragile. All it takes is one push, one highlight in a prenup, one well-timed confrontation, and the whole thing shatters. For me, that hotel room wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming power. For weeks, months even, I'd felt powerless. Gaslit. Ignored. Made to feel small. That night, when I stepped out of that bathroom, I felt 10 feet tall. And when the gavel hit in court, sealing the divorce in my favor, that was the echo of justice. Looking back now, more than a decade later, I don't feel anger anymore. I don't feel bitterness. What I feel is clarity. Because betrayal isn't about who someone cheats with. It's about dishonesty. It's about disrespect. It's about stripping away someone's right to the truth. And when you've been stripped of that, you're left with two choices: stay broken, or rebuild stronger. I chose stronger. If there's one thing I want anyone listening to take away, it's this: you are not crazy for noticing the signs. You are not wrong for demanding honesty. And you are absolutely not powerless when someone underestimates you. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, yes. But it also has no strength like a woman who remembers her worth. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories just like it. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? I read them all, and who knows, your story might inspire the next video. Until next time, remember, justice might take time, but when it comes, it's oh so sweet.